We are here. We are finally here. The day that it was inevitable, that we knew it was coming. And I'm actually kind of sad that I did not get a chance to review it more consistently like I wanted to, but that is the final Wednesday Night War. What's going on YouTube? It's Sensei Place where you chill, Mr. A&D, kicking it with myself on the final Wednesday Night War of ever, because NXT is moving to Tuesdays next week, and AEW is going to stay on Wednesday, so there's going to be no more Wednesday Night War for us. It was a fun ride. So honestly, how the reviews are going to set up, I don't necessarily know how I'm going to do it, because I don't even know if I want to review Raw or SmackDown anymore. I really don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to just keep it as to NXT and AEW. I still want to review AEW. AEW reviews are still going to be coming, but when it comes to there's no more Wednesday Night War, no more going on the podcast, stuff like that. So but it's gonna be the last one. So I said instead of doing an NXT Night One review by itself and doing live show, the live show is gonna be tomorrow. Tonight when you're looking at this, for the NXT Stand and Deliver. But right now we're doing part one of NXT Stand and Deliver versus what AEW did tonight for the last Wednesday Night War. So let's start off with NXT. NXT Stand and Deliver. I'm telling you right now, they did a pretty good job delivering on night one. And I was like, I don't even know how AEW is going to compete with this. So we had an opening match of Pete Dunne taking on Kushida. So which is a matchup, an exhibition to prove who is the best technical wrestler in the world. So Pete Dunne said he's one, but Kushida was sitting there giving him the business. This is the best Kushida match I have seen since he's been in WWE or in NXT. I'm not saying I have not seen him over in Japan or anything like that, but when it comes to him being in WWE, this is the best Kushida match I have seen to date. And the way they had about a good back and forth exhibition, sprawling about 30 seconds, that was just kind of dope. Of he do this move, he do this move, he do this move, he do this move before he finally collapsed. I thought that was really kind of dope. Kushida is working on Pete Dunne's arm. There was actually a point where they sold that Kushida was actually going to probably make him tap out. And there was a point he put him in an arm bar, and he gets out of it, and he rolls him through it, and it gets his other arm, and Peter has used his foot. He does like a brain buster arm bar, but then Pete Dunne try to do a brain buster arm bar. Coach even gets it from the top. He does this one unique move where he has his arm kind of locked on his legs. And he twists it around and hurts Pete Dunne's arm, but he tries to go for the hit for Pete Dunne. He grabs the fingers, cracks the fingers, and gives him he clotheslines him inside out, gives him the bitter, and Pete Dunne wins the matchup. So good matchup, by a good opening matchup. I enjoyed this. Going on to our next matchup, we had was the Gauntlet Eliminator, which was not what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be like a gauntlet match. Whoever wins, next one comes in, then whoever's the final one wins. Then it was like kind of like a Royal Rumble thing. So every 3 minutes, a guy is going to come in. And then the only way to win is a pinfall or submission. So this could turn into a triple threat, or a fatal 4-way, or a fatal 5-way, or a 6-pack challenge. Who knows? So I thought it was very, very, very unique. So we got the order from NXT the previous Wednesday who's gonna come out. So Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott gonna start it off. But before that even happens, Leon's coming out crawling, and Swerve Scott comes out, so he attacked him. So they're going on the outside in their whole fighting. But Leon comes back with some more offense. The match still not started yet. Leon Ruff does a cool jump off the table, corkscrew cutter to Isaiah Swerve Scott on the outside, and we get in there, and then the match starts. So these two got some good chemistry. They do some good high-flying moves here that I enjoy. Coming in after 3 minutes, number 3, Bronson Reed comes in third. Then after Bronson Reed comes in, Dexter Cameron Grimes comes in, and it gives a payment to Swerve Scott to jump on Bronson Reed, but then Bronson Reed just sitting there getting beat him up, and then just bounce him on the ropes and toss him back and get a lot of big man moves in. Then coming in at number 5 is Dexter Lumis. And coming in number 6 is LA Knight. So the first elimination goes to is Leon Ruff. Good matchup back and forth by these guys here. Then the next elimination comes. I surprised. Dexter Lumis puts Cameron Grimes into his little choke thing, and then LA Knight rolls him up, and then he pins Dexter Lumis. He's eliminated. By the way, LA Knight comes out talking trash like CM Punk in the Royal Rumble 2010, and said they're just beating up beating them guys up as he's walking by. So this piece of trash right here, it reminds me of The Rock from 1998 a little bit. So I like that. LA Knight eliminates Dexter Lumis. Bronson Reed goes and gives him a Samoan drop and a splash, and they LA Knight's eliminated. Wasn't expecting this. I was like, so what's the deal with LA Knight? I thought they were going to really push this guy to the moon, but not necessarily. So the final three is Cameron Grimes, Swerve Scott, and Bronson Reed. There was a nice little exchange with Cameron Grimes kind of like fell on Swerve Scott, and then Bronson Reed fell on both of them. So as Cameron Grimes is trying to pin Bronson Reed, then Isaiah Swerve Scott hits Cameron Grimes with a house call kick. I love that kick that he does. And Cameron Grimes, he starts tussling. He tries to roll Swerve, but then Swerve rolls up, grabs the tights. So Swerve wins. I was really pulling for the new heel Swerve in this one, but I was like, they're not going to do heel versus heel with Gargano and Swerve here. But him and Bronson Reed are going good at it. The Bronson Reed's like, come on, keep it. He gets hit with 3 house call kicks, but still kicks out. And then he finally just tackles Swerve to the ground, gives him a Samoan drop, then gives him a splash, and then the boy is going to face Gargano on night 2. That should be a good matchup. I don't see him winning the North American Championship, but I do see them put on a good matchup. And like I said, kind of like Swerve and Gargano would do also. But I do think Bronson Reed was the right pick for it. And I enjoyed the match. It was a really interesting matchup. I thought it was going to be a Rella Gauntlet matchup, but it wasn't. This was really good. Next up is for the UK Championship, Bronson Reed taking on Tommaso Ciampa. I'm going to tell you right now, I knew the match was going to be good because Ciampa came out of some wrestling gear and shaved his head off. I was like, me and Prata always made fun of like, Ciampa don't care. He growing his hair out. He looking old. No, I came with the clean ball head, came with the wrestling gear, and we're going to sit there and we're going to have a good matchup. And boy, was this a powerhouse matchup. This was a rough matchup. When I mean rough, I mean that in a good way. When we are outside, these guys are brutally hitting each other. Walter going for the iconic chops and misses and breaks the announce table. Now, I don't break a complete fall, but not the little hub thing off. I'm like, man, the power sense he's trying to do. Gives Tommaso Ciampa a back suplex onto the hardest part of the ring, the apron. They go in there, try to tussle some more. Ciampa goes for the double underhook to try to get the fairy tale ending, but Walter's a little bit too heavy. Try to flip him over, but he eventually does get it, and Walter kicks out. Then we do like the little bridge, and Walter just jumps on Ciampa's ass, and Ciampa with a kick out shows how impressive his ad work is. Ciampa is giving Walter the business here. I didn't think Walter was going to lose UK Championship, but Ciampa was sitting here really giving this man a good matchup, and that's one thing I really enjoyed about that. And towards the end, though, Walter gives him the final big chop, pins and wins the matchup. So good matchup, way good matchup. This is probably was going to be my match tonight, but then it's kind of hard to even follow that. But they did, because we got the triple threat match for the vacant tag team championships. MSK taking on Grizzled Young Vets, taking on Legado del Fantasma. You talk about high octane matchup in this one. Good, because MSK came to play here. As soon as they get tagged in, like I said, I don't know by name, or at least identify which one it is. So I'll say this: the black one got down, but the white one to jump up, and he kind of fails over them, and then the girl Del Fantasma kind of do a thing, will do a twisting dive and dive through the ropes also, and the whole pile-up spot and everything. But it did look cool. MSK is on hot fire right here. The black guy was sitting there just getting it in, just diving on the top rope, taking out Grizzly Invest on one end and doing the backflip kick that I only see on 2K in this one. Then they do the whole standing moonsault push over, and it for 3 count, but doesn't work. In the end, they get Grizzly Young Vets up, and then they go for their twisting blockbuster, win the matchup. MSK is your new tag team champions. I called that. I think it's good for them. These guys have been a great team. I like to see them. I never see what the Radicals could do, because once again, I wasn't watching Impact Wrestling when the Radicals was over there. So seeing them with the success that they bring, I'm totally for. I'm on board with the whole MSK thing. Absolutely. Main event time for NXT Takeover of Night 1. We have Io Shirai taking on Raquel Gonzalez. And I did not know how good this match was going to be. I know they're pushing Raquel Gonzalez, but they showed that Io Shirai gave a lot of work here. First of all, I never gave homage and say how I love how the Stand Deliver set looks. It looks like, it reminds me a lot of Survivor Series Deadly Games from 1998. We had that big skull right there in the middle, so I really enjoyed that. Raquel Gonzalez is doing all the power moves to Io Shirai. She can't get none of her really offenses as Raquel Gonzalez is showing the thing off. They go out to the ramp. Io Shirai does a moonsault from the top rope and lands on Raquel Gonzalez, take her out. They walk up the ramp, and Raquel Gonzalez rolls up the ramp, but then Io Shirai runs and gives her the double knees right there on the outside. Then all of a sudden, Io's gone. And I'm not, I pay attention to the commentators talk. I'm not realizing that Io Shirai is gone. Then on top of the skull, she's up there. There's a cross body from the top of the skull right on Raquel Gonzalez. You don't really realize how high that is. And sometimes it don't look too high to you until you're sitting there up there yourself. And they had a camera vision of showing her up there and how high that thing is. I was like, yo, dude, to be able to be in that moment, and I gotta tell you something, I gotta jump. And because I would just probably just jump down and but she had to jump to the point and stretch her body out in a crossbody to the point like, Raquel, you've got to catch me. Because that was high, it had me 15 feet. It almost looked like, well, why I say 15? I would say about 15 feet, maybe 10, 15 feet that thing was. I was like, that's high. That was high, especially seeing her jump down. But Io Shirai got no fear whatsoever. Rolls her back in, and it's still not enough. Raquel kicks out. Raquel gives her a one-arm power bomb to the outside. I meant to say Dakota Kai was out there, but then she gets thrown to the back, and then Raquel hits a one-arm powerbomb again to Io Shirai in the ring and then wins the match. Raquel Gonzalez is your new NXT Women's Champion. She gets the smoke, she gets the sparkle, she gets the fireworks. Io Shirai gets standing ovation when they had the exclusive going on in the back. So, shout out to Io Shirai for giving that girl a good matchup. I'm curious to see where Raquel Gonzalez goes with this championship. There is some elements she still need to work on. She's still green in some areas, but I am genuinely curious to see how it's going to go with her, Raquel Gonzalez. So that was NXT Night 1. Absolutely. This side here gets an A from me. It was really, really great. The tag team match was great. Ciampa and Walter, between that and the tag team match was probably what was my favorites of the night. Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai was really good as well. Kushida, the best match I've seen Kushida in, and that whole six-pack eliminator match was something I wasn't even expecting the rules to be. So everything, this whole thing gets an A for me on this. So how can AEW top it for the final Wednesday Night War? Well, let's go over to AEW Dynamite to see how they did. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you here that when it comes to AEW Dynamite, I was mostly looking at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, but I was going back if I had one on my laptop and phone, and I had the other one on my TV. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go back, but I was more into Stand and Deliver. But we start off at Dynamite with Hangman Page taking on Max Caster. Hangman wins with the buckshot lariat there. After the matchup, Page grabs a couple beers and makes his way to the stands and talks to beer to fans and heads out kind of way. Tony Schiavone's interviewing Death Triangle. Death Triangle reminds everyone that they have a title shot. They won the Casino Battle Royal and they won their title shot. And then and they wanted to have it next week. Orange Cassidy comes out and with Chris Statlander and the Best Friends. Cassidy said it's nice to see all three of them in the ring again on the big screen. We'll see all the way back in February and May, but they're trying to go attack the group. Ted says it's been a while, but she still remembers. So, Peck says he sees the writing on the wall and said they got to touch out to the AEW Tag Team Champions, and they got a lot of work to do, and they ain't worried about them anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be worried about them neither. So, but Trent said, look, I want to let you know the boys are back in town. I knew that 40 hours was going to come. And they got an alien with them too. So we also get a shot of Mike Tyson outside Daly's place. So this is how AEW is going to combat with a Stand and Deliver with having Mike Tyson. Inner Circle make their way out to the ring. So this is I'm a little upset because I wanted to review this last week because I didn't get a chance to get to my AW my Wednesday Night War review last week of when the Pinnacle attacked when the Inner Circle came back and attacked the Pinnacle and gave MJF a swirly. It was just gross. And they gave him a good legit beatdown. Well, so now Inner Circle's in the ring. Jericho grabs the mic up and he says, "Look, it's the Funny Games is over. We're doing the match that we were supposed to have March of 2020, but then Rudy Gobert shut the world down. So what we're going to do, we're having a blood and guts match on March, the blood and guts match May 5th. So I guess it's double or nothing. So we're going to get the Inner Circle taking on the Pinnacle in a blood and guts matchup. So that's supposed to be like their War Games kind of matchup that's to be surrounded by a cage, but then we end up getting a Stadium Stampede in favor of the whole blood and guts thing. So I think that's cool. And of course, Jericho just making fun of everybody backstage. Christian Cage talks about his debut match with Frankie Kazarian, which I didn't get to talk about last week also. And I'm like, Christian looked good coming back in this matchup, but Christian looked gassed. Okay. I'm cool with Christian. My wife's a bigger fan of Christian. I'm lying. But Christian looked very, very gassed in this. Taz comes up and he comes into this conversation and says, look, 7 years is a long time. He said he has a bunch of guys who could make him even better. Taz offers Kate, offers him to Team Taz, but then Christian Cage turns it down. But he said Taz said think it over and get back to him. It's now time for our Godzilla versus King Kong matchup. Jurassic Express taking on Bear Country. I was like, really? Okay, so this matchup I really was not necessarily into. I'm not a big fan of Bear Country at all, but I understand what they were trying to market it as, especially with the hype going around with Godzilla versus King Kong. Oh, Godzilla versus Kong. But then Jurassic Express wins with Luchasaurus. Hits a standing moonsault on Boulder, I believe his name is. All right, so the night I missed a segment with the Nightmare Factory training facility with QT Marshall and Cody. And with QT Marshall, I don't care. So I missed that whole thing. Sting heads out, and then Jake Roberts comes up, and then Scorpio Sky eats the page. Sting's looking, and Robert says every week Sting comes out, gets interrupted, and doesn't say anything. Jake asks, "Where's Darby? Where's Darby Allin?" As Archer comes out and grabs the mic, Archer says he's tired of all of it. He's not going to get a match, and then goes away. He should be in the main event at this time. He should be talking with Shivani. Sting finally rips the mic away and says he has something to say. Sting says he's totally agrees with Archer is a main event guy who shouldn't leave. He thinks Roberts needs to help Archer channel that energy. Sting says he's got it in him. He just needs to make it happen. Sting walks in the back, and Archer and Roberts seem to be confused by all this. As Sky needs the page, Scorpio Sky needs the page look from the stands. Here's the thing about Sting. Sting is not a good heel at all, and he's not going to be a heel. But I'm just like, I don't like Sting as white be babyface either, especially when you're in the Crow gimmick. Surface Sting, sure, but not the Crow Sting. Darby Allin takes on JD Drake for the AEW TNT Championship. Darby Allin takes with a coffin drop. Is it just me, or does it feel like the TNT Championship has just not had gotten that level since when Brody Lee or Cody and them had it? Because it ain't because of who Darby Allin is. It's what they got Darby Allin to work with here. Okay, I'm like, we can give Darby Allin some more high top matches or big matches instead of beating these people that I personally don't know, and you can get some credibility behind him opposed to just being a glorified stuntman. We get the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny to run that whole hard shows down, and then they have some Dark Order stuff, and the Sting runs the group off like he really follows them all the way to the back and everything. Backstage, they talk to Chris Jericho about the blood and guts coming up, and then Chris Jericho gets blindsided by the Pinnacle and starts getting attacked. They bring him out to the outside, and they're beating down Chris Jericho. They're giving him all the moves, and all of a sudden the music hits. Well, first of all, we see they lock the inner circle in the dressing room, so they're trying to break down the door to go help out Jericho. But then this music hits. It's Iron Mike Tyson. First off, this time he ain't drunk. He knows how to rip off the shirt, and he comes in there and he gets Shawn Spears, and Shawn Spears is probably wishing. He's like, why in the world am I in this position? And Tyson just start going off with the hands, man. He is giving him the hands in the corner. And I was just like, yo, bro, I hope he pulling all them drugs, because Shawn Spears sitting there like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because one legit hit from Tyson, bro, it's done. Then he just takes him down by his legs. I can tell Shawn Spears was scared. He was sitting there kind of like trying to wail on him at the top. But then here come the rest of the inner circle, kind of pulled him off. And Tyson looked like he joined the winner circle. He extends the hand out. Him and Jericho shake hands. So that was a dope moment of seeing Jericho and Tyson shake hands as the crowd cheers, something like that. Put the rivalry aside to go take on the Pinnacle. I don't know if Tyson's going to be in the Blood and Guts matchup. I don't know if I'll put him in there. If not, but I can never have an angle of him like, MJF taking a punch from Mike Tyson like Jericho did in from Tyson. Was it 2010? I believe it was. Backstage, Tony Schiavone's interviewing Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She has Tony Khan to give people what they want, give her a title match. She's currently number 4th on the rankings, and their rankings is bullshit. The race is whole bullshit. It shouldn't be about wins and matches. It should be about TV time and all those kind of personal things. So I like the story. I'll see what happens. The Bunny takes on Ty Conti. Ty Conti wins with a DD tag. So she was the matchup. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers take on John Moxley and the Young Bucks. 6-man tag team match player. It's always weird when Kenny Omega does that little back exercise. He got the little spots on his back after he's done it, like the little suction joints. It always looks very weird to me. The Young Bucks is trying to give Omega that, when they hold the arms, they bring the knees up together. But they couldn't bring him to do it. Moxley again, very furious. He drops Kenny Omega with 2 paradigm shifts and want to put him in the choke. But then all of a sudden, the Young Bucks turn on Moxley, give him a super kick, and then Eddie Kingston comes out, but they get stopped by the Good Brothers. Gets a Magic Killer on the stage, and then they beat him, give Magic Killer to Moxley, and then roll Omega over to win the matchup. And then afterwards, they put up Moxley and they look at the Young Bucks like, yo, go ahead, super kick him. And they super kick him, and now it looks like the Elite is back. Looks like it's about to be 2 sweet guys, and they all in the ring and hugging. Young Bucks are heels now. So that is what's going on for the Wednesday Night War. So both shows came out, both shows delivered for me, and I enjoyed them. But it goes to NXT Stand and Deliver Part 1 tonight. Obviously, it was a pay-per-view that they were doing, and this is the final Wednesday Night War, and I'm going to give it to NXT. So I plan on checking out NXT on Tuesdays and still doing reviews for AEW on Wednesdays, but I don't know how I'm going to do Raw. I don't know how I'm going to do Raw Smackdown. I'm not necessarily sure, because 4 reviews all week, I don't necessarily know. It depends on what y'all guys want to see. But in the meantime, post that comments down below who won for the final Wednesday Night War, NXT or AEW. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed my review. Hit the subscribe button for more wrestling content right here on WrestleMania week. Remember, every day at 3 o'clock, we got a new WrestleMania retro review, so make sure you guys check that stuff out and join the live chat when we're down in there. Once again, it's NCN Place to Be, Showtime Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.